I use Zillow. What's the difference between you and Zillow? Get on ChatGPT, say, give me a comparison between Zillow and Rent Perfect. And if you look at the little small print on Zillow, this is self-reported data. This is not data we've gone out and grabbed for you and confirmed.
For landlords, by landlords. The Rent Perfect podcast with David Pickron.
Boom. David Pickron and Scott Aubrey.
Thank you.
We should change that recording.
We need to redo the intro.
You know, seriously. No, I always appreciate you here with us. Hey, like us, subscribe. Just a couple landlords here that's been around a while, both private investigators. Really, we're the study of people. And where a lot of people are talking about those sticks and mortars, and I bought low and sold high, and everything is about the property. We talk about the people and how important they are going into your property, right? And what I want to talk to you about today is a question I get asked all the time, almost every single conference I do. People will come up at the very end and they'll say, hey, I loved what you said. I use Zillow. What's the difference between you and Zillow? Which I know there's a huge difference. How much time do you have? But, you know, usually I have multiple people standing around and I try to get through these questions pretty quickly. Honestly, they're not even apples to apples, to be honest with you. So let's do this. Zillow's awesome. I use Zillow to do marketing. I'm never here to bash a company or a competitor, even though once we get done with this podcast, you're going to realize they're not a competitor of ours. We actually work hand in hand, but they do try to get into our space a little bit. So we're going to kind of talk about where they're good, where we're good, where maybe we should just stay out of, right?
Well, and like any big company, they have to try and find new revenue streams, and so I think they look at what we do as an industry and kind of go, we might be able to do that, and they start dipping their toe into it.
So I want to end the podcast on a positive note. So I'm just going to bring out two kind of negative things that I don't like about Zillow. A lot to like about it, but these are two things I don't like about Zillow. Okay. Number one, when they claim they do a background check on the applicants that are reaching out to you, it is an instant database plugged into somebody's data. It's not going into the court system. It's not saying if there's no record found, meaning they have no criminal history. It just means there's no record found in the database that we tap into.
Yeah, with the information that you provided.
With the information you provided, and we hope that that's even correct.
Correct, yeah.
Right? There's no checking of the identity, checking of the spelling. Yeah. Social security numbers could be mixed up.
Is the date of birth correct? Is any of the information that the applicant...
Do I have an incentive as an applicant who's filling out my application on Zillow to lie? Right? Do they have the identification features in there to say, well, no, this isn't you? Okay. Along with that, there's a lot of things in Zillow where they self-identify the information. Okay. So their income. I've had people $120,000 a year. I think, oh, wow, okay, the income's there. And then I go to process them through Rent Perfect, and they work at Taco Bell at $24,000 a year.
Part-time,
and I'm like, where? And if you look at the little small print on Zillow, this is self-reported data. This is not data we've gone out and grabbed for you and confirmed. And so I think a lot of times we get confused if we don't read the small data.
Right, yeah.
But the one big pet peeve, I mean, that's a big one right there. Yeah. But even the bigger pet peeve as a landlord, not even as an owner of Rent Perfect, but as a landlord is, they charge $25 for an applicant to do the background, okay? And they allow them to apply to as many places as they want for 30 days.
For the $25?
For $25.
Okay.
What does this do to us as landlords, right? Now, as a landlord, Scott, you too, we want people living in our place that want our place.
Right. Not just any roof, our roof.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you find somebody who wants just any place, there's a reason, right? So they allow them to go in, look at properties, and just apply. And when you call them back, you're like, hey, you've applied at my place, or you've inquired. Oh, what place was that one?
Right.
Well, I was the 3-bedroom, but where was it at? In other words, they'd applied at a lot of places, right?
Throwing enough mud against the wall to hope something sticks. Yep.
I want somebody when I'm on Zillow to look at my pictures, read my paragraphs, know where my property's located.
Know your criteria.
Know my criteria,
yeah, that's
right?
important, yeah.
I want them to know the location, so if the kids are already going to school somewhere or they're around a certain church they like or whatever, I want people to like my property. Now, why is that important? Both of them will get them rented, but my person who likes my property and it fits into their lifestyle will stay for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. And will treat the property better because it's their property too, right?
And they're going to be there a while, right?
Yeah.
And we know in other podcasts, that if someone pays you $2,000 a month for 5 years, you make $125,000. I am looking for that $125,000 renter or what we call business partner to stay. Zillow does not help me do that. Okay, though that's where a lot of people are, and that's where we're putting our properties on because that seems to where all the people are looking for rentals. Just keep in mind that they are applying at multiple places. And so we have a podcast it's called Code Words. So let's link that in the comments if you want to go back and see how can you make sure that someone wants your property on Zillow instead of one of those ones that just apply everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So naturally, Scott, as owners of Rent Perfect, we would really tout how good it is, right? I mean, it would be a shame if we were like,
we would be the worst salespeople on the planet if we were like,
developed
we're
a
not very
product
good.
that's terrible. So, saying that Rent Perfect is amazing is one thing, but what would ChatGPT, really independent source,
Yeah, unbiased.
What would ChatGPT say, right?
Funny you ask. Yeah.
Yeah, funny you ask. And I would challenge you to go get on ChatGPT and say, give me a comparison between Zillow and Rent Perfect. If you don't have time to go do that and you're driving and listening to us, we've done it for you. Let us pull out exactly word for word what ChatGPT has said. So I'm going to let you start this.
Yeah, no, I love just the overview to me is great, right? Zillow is a leading real estate marketplace designed for buying, selling, and renting properties. That's pretty accurate. Rent Perfect is a property management platform that focuses on the back-end tools for landlords, including tenant screening, leases, and payments.
And so much more.
Yeah. So to me, I look at, Zillow's fantastic, but they're a mile wide and a foot deep. Where we have, when we get into the landlord world, we're pretty narrow as far as what we focus on, but the depth of what we have with all the tools and different things that we provide for them is really a big differentiator.
Right. I love that. Now, the next section it goes to, it says, well, who uses each company, right? Those searching for homes and apartments, Zillow gets the nod, okay? Listing properties for rent or sale, Zillow gets the nod. Managing rentals, leases, and payments, Zillow says is limited. Rent Perfect gets the nod, right? Tenant screening and background checks, Zillow is basic, it says. Rent Perfect, full check mark, gets the nod. Yep. Custom lease creation, Zillow has a basics template. We create custom leases. Now, what's important is when you use Rent Perfect, we don't tell you how to manage. We give you options to manage the way you want to manage. So everything is customizable in our program, right? And so it's a little bit
you're not just stuck
different.
with like, this is what everybody in our program has to do this way. No, it's something you can do on your own.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's a lot more that we do here that we could explain, but ChatGPT kind of picked that up. You do, what about the strengths and limitations?
Yeah, I mean, I love that. Zillow does have a huge reach, right? They're a big, they're a kind of a big, massive audience that they're reaching for. A great place to advertise your rentals.
Yeah.
And we acknowledge that, right? We're not, that's not us,
and
right?
I do that.
Yeah.
Right. I use Zillow.
Right. To post your own stuff. Yeah.
Right.
So again,
absolutely.
Great. They do that great. They're a great marketplace for researching and pricing, kind of figuring that stuff out. Where they are limited, though, is a lot of times they focus just on that listing piece and not so much on the management piece.
Right.
They also have limited landlord tools and some of their premium features, like the extra stuff. As any good American company, they charge for those things, right? There's an upcharge, so absolutely. I'll let you cover. Rent Perfect is your baby, so we'll let you talk about kind of the strengths and things there.
Let's say what ChatGPT says about the Rent Perfect strengths. Tailored for landlords and property managers. comprehensive screening and leasing tools, easy rent payment, and document management. Okay? Yeah. That's what ChatGPT says we do well.
Right.
This is where we're limited, it says. Not a rental marketplace. Yeah.
We acknowledge that.
We acknowledge that. No, don't mean to be, but when we are ready to get into that space, you'll certainly know when we're ready to do it. And it's on the books, but we're waiting for the right time. We want to do it the right way. But here's interesting. A limitation for Rent Perfect is may require pairing with Zillow or similar platforms. I think those two things are almost the same, right? Mm-hmm. We're just not a marketplace.
Yeah.
So, but number 4, wrap us up. Number 4.
How they work together, right? How they work together. Zillow is excellent for attracting prospective tenants through its massive listing platform. Once you have applicants, Rent Perfect takes over for background checks, lease creation, and ongoing rent collection. And so much more, right? We'd always add. Using both together can streamline the rental process end to end. It's interesting because, like, obviously we want to find a person to put into the property. Right. And that's a key component. But that's like typically in a good market, that's a 3 to 4 week relationship that I'm going to have with Zillow or another person, right? But the term of relationship I want to have with my tenant, we just talked about, 5-year, 10-year. So I want to put my efforts into the long-term building of this relationship rather than just matchmake, right? Matchmaking is awesome, but where does the real rubber hit the road, right? Where do we want our best efforts? And that's in that management piece, ongoing from, hey, I found you the partner. Now work the magic.
It is the system behind the relationship.
Yeah.
Anywhere from rent pay. See, after you onboard them, hey, they're great. You've established this partnership. You'll be hearing from them in a roundabout way when they pay rent every month. No matter how they pay you rent, you kind of have just a little bit of communication with them, whether it's automated or not. Use rent pay. It goes right from their bank account to our bank account. You don't really have communication with them on a person-to-person basis, but they have a relationship with their app at that point.
Yep.
Right? And then number 2, when the air conditioning breaks, the heater needs to be fixed, right? Plumbing or whatever, a work order. Mm-hmm. And one thing that ChatGPT doesn't talk about here is the awesome work order system that we have where they can file a work order, document everything. So you're right. So you can pick a system that just works for the short-term onboarding, or you can pick one that lasts the whole lifetime of the relationship, and that certainly is Rent Perfect. Now, on a personal end, and I try not to tell people how to manage. I just kind of tell them how I manage, and if they like that, they can assume some of my ideas. I do not accept automatic applying or applications when I do Zillow. I turn that off. I don't want them to send me their information.
Is that because you don't want an onslaught of 100 applicants? Is that why?
Well, it's not only that, but they think they've applied with me, and once they think that they've applied with me, I then have to say yes, or I have to give them an adverse action letter saying I picked somebody else. Yeah. I don't want just anybody to apply with me until I invite them to apply with me, right? What happens is when you're on Zillow and you push this button, you've invited everybody just to come on in the front door, and you get 30 applications. Technically, by Fair Housing, you accept one of them, you have to send 30 of them that think they applied with you. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I might not even looked at your application, but you've applied with me because you've sent me your information in an application, right?
Right.
So I turned that off. And then once I go from the next step for me after the Zillow and I get contact with someone is, first of all, I get their cell number. We get off Zillow.
Okay.
And then we go to the place and we look at it and we tour the place. I never allow anybody to apply until they've seen the place. How could you possibly know you want my place?
Yeah.
By looking at 20 pictures in a paragraph.
Unless you're willing to take anything because you're desperate.
100%. Right. 100%. Yeah. I'll take anything, right? I want the person that's going to come over and they're going to be a little bit picky. Mm-hmm. Because a person who has a great background and great credit knows they're going to get anything they want.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be a little bit more picky. If someone's a little bit picky with you, it's not a negative thing. They know that they can qualify because they've paid their rent. Mm-hmm. They have no criminal history, right? No eviction history.
Yeah, they're a good tenant.
Right. And the person that knows that they have a little bit more shady past will not be this picky. Whatever you'll give me, whatever you're willing to give me, I'll take, right? So
Moving trucks out front. Can we do it now?
Right.
Yeah,
so the bottom line is the answer is when people come to me and say, hey, I use Zillow, that's fantastic. So do I. But then where do you go from there, right?
Yeah.
So why start the screening process with Zillow when you're going to drop off? Or why sign a lease when that relationship is going to drop off? Let's take you into move-in inspection. Let's take you into work orders. And let's have a complete suite of management software, right? So I would compare this to, like a Walmart, which I shop at, right? But have you ever been on vacation to those smaller towns and they have those really cool toy stores?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the little unique ones.
Yeah.
Stuff you've never seen anywhere ever.
Right. And you go, and I'm in the age where I'm buying my grandkids stuff, right? I can go up and down Walmart's aisles. Nothing wrong with Walmart, but it's the same typical.
Yeah. If I want to buy a new version of Monopoly, I'm going to get it for $10 at Walmart, not at Dr. Gizmo's whatever,
yeah,
right?
But think of this. When you buy that new Monopoly set, in 1 year, the cardboard's flat, because the seams have broke, if you know what I'm saying, and then now it lays on the box, right? Go buy a Monopoly set from one of these toy stores, and you're going to pay twice as much.
Right.
But the quality is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Zillow costs you $9.99 currently right now in 2025 a week to apply. You can pay $29.95 and have a couple months to do your property.
Okay.
I always pay the other thing.
Yeah.
Rent Perfect is $9.95 one-time fee to get access into all of these tools. Okay? The only other fee that you will pay is if you do use our Rent Pay, you pay $10 a month that we pay the payment processor to move the money from one bank account to another. So we really say Rent Perfect is free, but you do have an initial $9.95.
Yeah.
You can even get a discount on that if you go to your local RIAs or an organization that we work with that will give you even cheaper than that. But who cares? $9.95 to have a free property management software system. I mean,
fantastic.
Seriously, I'll try anything for $9.95, and if it doesn't work, I don't feel bad about it. But I will tell you, this is awesome. I only bring up the price for this reason. A lot of times we judge a product by how much it costs, right? Mm-hmm. You go to the store and what's a favorite brand that you like?
Oh boy,
like a clothing brand.
Oh, I mean, I'm a Nike guy. I like Nike.
You like Nike,
like
right?
Nike,
you like Nike and whatever. Yeah. But Nike probably makes that shirt in China, right? For probably $5.
I can look right now, probably.
Right?
Tell you
for
that,
$5, but they put their swoosh on it, right? And now all of a sudden it's $50, and you think, oh, it's a Nike shirt.
Yeah.
I see why we get. Why that thought comes in our head that if something is expensive, it must be really good.
Yeah.
We fight this a little bit because we're actually very cost-effective, inexpensive. Mm-hmm.
Affordable, yeah.
But we're Nike Plus. We're Polo Plus.
Yeah.
I don't know the high.
Yeah.
I'm not a brand guy, right? Yeah. So I don't know what the high brands of clothing are. But we're the highest brand out there.
We're Gucci, baby.
We're Gucci.
Yeah, we're Gucci. I like it.
And yet we've got a Walmart price, I guess, but certainly expect more. So if you're ever thinking about implementing Rent Perfect into as your software, as your system behind, give this a try. I love it. I love everything about it. We put a lot of time into it, got a lot of feedback on it, and know that you will love it. Hey, we love Zillow. They're great. There's a few features in there that we need to just know about and guide ourselves through the process. And ask ChatGPT. It's not me.
Yeah.
It's not me today. It's ChatGPT.
Blame it on the GPT. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today, and until next time, continue to rent perfect.